Hi there, I'm Vincent Boss and I provide dating and self-improvement advice. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing Dumpee plan for the 4th of July. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing Dumpee plan for the 4th of July. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, it can feel particularly difficult on special days of the year. In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 pieces of advice to help dumpees get through the 4th of July, although this could be useful for other major holidays. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is don't be alone. It's so important not to be alone on the 4th of July and any other major holiday that you may be approaching. If you're alone on such a day, you are naturally going to be thinking about your ex and inventing stories in your mind that they are having the best time. Now, the truth is, you don't know what they're doing. You don't know the experience they are having. And there is no guarantee that they are having a wonderful time. Certainly no more wonderful than you could be having if you spent time with other people. Now, if you've been dumped, sometimes you want your alone time. Sometimes you want time to process your thoughts. But I would suggest it's very unlikely to be in your benefit if you are alone during a major event or a major holiday. If we're thinking about the 4th of July, we're thinking about barbecues, we're talking about celebrations outside, we're talking about fireworks, we're talking about family, we're talking about friends, we're talking about loved ones. You need to be spending your time with other people who care about you. If you do not spend time with these people, you will just be home alone and you'll be thinking of your ex. Now listen, you probably don't want to imagine your ex having a good time right now, but what I would suggest is that your biggest concern is perhaps that they're with somebody new. Maybe you're worrying that they're with a new boyfriend or a new girlfriend. That is very unlikely to be the case. It's very difficult for somebody to come out of a relationship and find a new long-term compatible partner that they are likely to want to introduce to family and friends at an event such as the 4th of July or another major holiday. So I would suggest that even if you're worried that your ex is having a good time, you can at least rest assured, but it's very unlikely to be with a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend. They're very unlikely to be spending time with somebody who you worry is replacing you. Because in my opinion, they're very unlikely to find anybody to replace you. So please, don't let that worry cross your mind. The odds on it happening are extremely slim. In particular, within the first year or so after your breakup, it's incredibly difficult to find a long-term compatible partner. Might they go on a few dates? It's possible, but it's not likely to go anywhere. And I very much doubt that they'll want to be bringing somebody new to meet their friends or family or whatever event they may be going to for the 4th of July. It's just not likely. So, although you may not want your ex to be having a nice time at all, which incidentally, that might be a natural thought you have, but you need to move through that as quickly as possible, because feeling angry, frustrated and bitter is not healthy, it's not going to help you, it's certainly not going to help you, of course, trying to get your ex back. So you need to be working through these feelings. I appreciate it is within the stages of grief, but please don't try to linger and wallow in this negativity, because it's not going to help you move forward in your life, it's not going to help you get your ex back, it's not going to help you find somebody even better. So, is your ex possibly having a nice time with their friends and family? Maybe. We don't know, but possibly. But you could be doing so as well. They're not likely to be with anybody new romantically. Just think about them, if you have to, as being with their family, okay? That is the most likely situation. You need to be with yours, or a local event or something where you can take your mind off your ex and live in the moment. Practice mindfulness, experiencing what is going through your life right now. And this is the celebration of the 4th of July or whatever major holiday you're connecting this podcast to in your mindset. You need to be filling your life with new memories, things to think about other than your ex. And you never know, you might just smile when you least expect it. You will be lost in thought, even if just for a moment. Give your mind some time off. Give your brain some time off from thinking about your ex, from thinking about your breakup. You can and will, no doubt, go back to those thoughts in the very near future. But right now, enjoy time with friends, family, celebrations, and let yourself relax. Have a good time. Your ex is not likely to be with anybody romantically. Yes, they might have a nice time with their friends and family, but look, you can do that as well. And we don't know for certain what they're doing. They might decide to spend some time alone, and maybe if you're with your friends and family, you will actually have a better time than they do. So concentrate on you, give your mind some time off, and enjoy the 4th of July by making sure you're not alone. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast about Dumpee plan for the 4th of July. And point number 2 is send a text. Now, I'm not talking about sending your ex a text, okay? So please don't do that. If you're a Dumpee, I very, very strongly suggest you don't send your ex a text. But what I am suggesting you do is send a friend or family member a text, but maybe you haven't communicated with in a while. Maybe even your previous relationship that unfortunately you've now come out of, maybe that created some distance between you and this person that you're thinking of. Maybe you didn't have time to consider the friendship, the relationship you had with this person as much when you was in your romantic relationship that has just recently ended. Maybe this is somebody that you can reach out to and reconnect with, a friend, a family member, somebody from your past. This is the moment. This is the 4th of July. Send them a text. Ask them how they're getting on. Wish them a happy 4th. This is the moment for you to do that. Start to rebuild a connection which unfortunately was lost or severed or maybe just drifted away in the past. You can enjoy a great conversation with somebody who you cared for a lot, but maybe you just went your separate ways, you drifted apart. This could be the beginning of a reconnection which could be very valuable to you. Now you're single, unfortunately you have a lot more free time. You want to be reaching out to people who you've lost touch with and start to arrange to maybe catch up, meet up, enjoy some time together, rebuild your connections, grow your social circle. And the benefit you have is if this person has not been in and around your relationship and breakup, they're not likely to be having a viewpoint or a perspective or really diving into that because they've not been a part of it. And like I said in point number 1, you need to be giving your mind some time off. Give your brain some time off from a breakup. If you reach out to somebody who doesn't really know much about all of this, they're unlikely to quiz you. They're unlikely to keep bringing it up. You can learn about them and their life. You can just be quite passive and say, look, I was in a relationship, it's ended, and just move on from then and start to talk about the future. And if you do meet up, it could be a great use of your time to start rebuilding connections that you used to enjoy. Again, growing that social circle. Maybe you feel you have a very, very limited social circle right now because when you was in a relationship, you just concentrated one-on-one with you and your now ex. You need to be regrowing that now. I always talk about making new connections, but it's also important to reaffirm and grow connections which have drifted away a little or maybe were severed for whatever reason. You can build this connection again. You can open up possibilities. And who knows, this person that you're about to text, maybe you have a conversation, maybe they invite you round to meet them at some point, maybe they're throwing a party or something, and guess what? You meet somebody who becomes very special to you. You might want your ex back right now, but the next love of your life could be at a party which has been thrown by a friend that you lost touch with, and now you can reconnect and therefore meet this person. Who knows? The universe works out in mysterious ways. So I suggest please send a text. Start to rebuild something which unfortunately currently you have lost. If you would like support moving through your breakup recovery, if you want to increase the chance of getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your specific unique circumstances. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast about Dumpee plan for the 4th of July. And point number 3 is watch a comedy movie. Now, watching a comedy movie is obviously going to make you laugh, and even if you don't feel like laughing, laughter can be the best medicine. And if you're not feeling well, if you're feeling down in the dumps, then reminding yourself of what it is like to smile can be just what the doctor ordered. Now, maybe you want to watch something that you know is going to make you laugh. Maybe you want to watch something brand new to you. But I would strongly suggest that on the night of the 4th, after the fireworks, after everything is finished, before you go to sleep, I want you to watch a comedy movie. And the reason for this is because if you don't, your mind is likely to drift to your ex again. Maybe you take my advice and you enjoy the 4th of July as best as you can with your friends or family or at an event. But when you come back, before you go to sleep, your mind drifts, you start thinking of your ex, you start inventing stories in your mind which are very unlikely to be true, and you start going downwards. I want you to enjoy the rest of your night before you go to sleep so you can get a good night's sleep by thinking of something which isn't your ex. And the best way to do this is to watch a comedy movie. Now, I would have just suggested any type of movie, but if I did that, maybe you'd have ended up watching something which would have made you think of your ex, or maybe something which is a bit downbeat, or maybe a romantic film which doesn't have necessarily the best ending. No, I want you to laugh, I want you to smile, I want you to enjoy yourself. Watch something that's silly, watch something that's zany, watch something which makes you laugh. It doesn't matter what your sense of humour is, you can find a movie which will suit you. And even better, if you can watch it with somebody else, then that would be fantastic. If you have to be alone, okay, that's something. But if you can share this experience with somebody, that is what you should do. And then when you finally go to sleep, you'd have had a packed full day, surrounded by people, reconnecting with somebody via a text message, and enjoying a comedy movie so you can go to sleep with a smile on your face. This is what life's all about, enjoying the moment. There is no reason why your 4th of July has to be a lonely, miserable and sad day. Of course, if you're listening to this and maybe you're in a country that doesn't celebrate the 4th of July, then you can connect this to an event which is coming up where you live in a culture that you are within. There is bound to be something soon where you can connect this concept, this plan of action to. Now, today I'm speaking about the 4th of July is imminent, which is why it's very topical for me to speak of. But like I said, this could be connected to other events, other days on the calendar. So don't be alone. Send a text to somebody who you've lost touch with, watch a comedy movie, and enjoy the day. It doesn't matter what your ex is doing. You don't know for certain. We can never find out precisely exactly what they have done, but I can tell you it is likely to be a lot more mundane and a lot less exciting than you invent in your head. Our brain doesn't help us. Our mind doesn't support us in this way. It always gives us the worst possible scenario, okay? So please don't listen to yourself when you're trying to invent a story about what you think they're doing. It's likely to be mundane, very uneventful. Maybe they had a nice time with family, okay? But that doesn't mean that they have met somebody that they're about to marry. Very, very unlikely. Don't get worried that they're with somebody else. It's just not likely to be the case. Enjoy yourself on the 4th. Have a great day. Let me know in the YouTube comments what your plans are, and I will see you in the next podcast. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.